Hey guys, welcome to Aubameyang United. Welcome to another video, and today is the second video of the day. This will be an extra video. I just think that it was very important news for the market overall, and I think that this is one of the most important signings of the summer. And Pepe has joined Arsenal for a fee of £80 million, and that is very interesting. Definitely, it's a very interesting transfer. I don't particularly think that, yes, Arsenal, I'm aware that they need a winger. I just think that paying 80 million for Pepe when you are always being rumored to not have money, I just think that there's other parts in the squad that needed fixing. But I'm just gonna go over how I think the squad is gonna shape up for next season and what signings could be done. Realistic signings. This is going to be a realistic transfer window for Arsenal and how they could look in the future. I think that Unai Emery has always been characterized by playing the 4-3-3 and the 4-2-3-1. I think that he is going to rotate between those two formations during the season, probably even rotating with a 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, as we saw in parts of the season, as Arsenal are not graced by the best defenders, therefore they have to use what they got and maybe play a 3 at the back. Unfortunately, when Rob Holding get injured, that was a big blow for them, and that ended pretty much the 3 at the back formation for Unai Emery last season. I think that he's a perfectly competent coach. I think Unai Emery is definitely a really qualified coach. He gets a lot of stick. He got a lot of stick for not making it top 4 last season, for losing the Europa League against Chelsea. And to what Arsenal fans, I'm gonna tell to Arsenal fans that I think that they're a little bit over the top. They're expecting too much. They haven't invested really. It was his first season in a new league with a new team, and in a team that needs a lot of surgery and that still needs a lot of surgery. I think that you need to give Emery at least 2 to 3 seasons to really work his magic. I think that he's a fantastic coach. The work that he did at Sevilla speaks for itself. He did a good job at PSG. Regardless of the results, he did a good job. He's a really quality coach, and in my opinion, even better than Ernesto Valverde. So I would take him at Barcelona. If you gave me an option between Emery and Valverde, I would take Emery. I think that he has tools to do interesting things, and it depends how Chelsea, Manchester United manage to do next season in order for that race for top 4. My opinion is going to be Manchester City, Liverpool fighting for the league title once again, and Tottenham Hotspur. I'm pretty confident with the new signings that have arrived, and possibly Giovanni also coming in, that they're going to be able to secure top 3 and get into the top 4 once again. And I think that it's very important for Arsenal to do things right now. So because if they do things very good this season, they can maybe separate themselves from the pack of Chelsea and United and try to cement themselves a top 4 team once again. They've been out of the Champions League for a couple of seasons already, and it's not helping the transfer budget, and it's not helping them bring in new stars to the team. I think that it's really important, and I think that the likes of Arsenal need more. They need better players, and the fans need to be more patient. If I had to describe the fans at Arsenal, and this is not describing just Arsenal fan TVs, describing the overall Arsenal fans, I think that they are very similar to the Betis fans, where they have unrealistic expectations of a team that is not as great as they actually think that it is. They have really good players, really interesting players, some of them that I actually love, but they don't have an actual team that is able to compete, especially for Europa League, Premier League title, and in the Cups. You need a squad with better depth and better players, in my opinion, to do that. But stop rambling about, and let's get into the video. Let's get into the lineup. I think the starting 11 for next season could look something like Bernd Leno in net. I think that he had a pretty dodgy record at Bayer Leverkusen, but still his shot stopping is superb. The level of the goalkeeper is really good. He's a really top quality keeper. He just has a mistake in him, like every goalkeeper. I just think that with a better goalkeeper coach, you could coach that out of him, and he was really crucial for Arsenal last season. They almost made top 4. It was unfortunately that they didn't. I think the fullbacks next season are going to be Hector Bellerin, recovering from that really bad injury that he suffered last season. He's been recovering better. I hope that he's able to start for Arsenal next season. It'll be really interesting to see him back into the pitch. He's one of my favorite right backs in the world. And in the other side, there is going to be the new signing of Tierney. It's been rumored that's going to be happening the whole season. He's a really top quality player. I think that, yes, the quality of the Scottish League drives me a little bit away. Like, I don't think that he sustained really good numbers in the Champions League, but the problem is that not necessarily is the player, like, because he's good in the Champions League means that he's going to be good in another team. I just see that he has really good quality, that he's one of the better fullbacks that Arsenal can get for that price tag, and we'll see if he succeeds in a top level in world football. But I think that Tierney could give Arsenal a much needed help at left back. I think the likes of Socrates will be the starting center back in the team. Don't know if Koscielny or Mustafi are going to be there next season. Mustafi is, yes, it's a center back that has a lot of mistakes in him, but he is a World Cup winning center back, and he's a really good, like, he was a good center back in Valencia, and I just think that the Premier League has kind of suited him. Also, Arsenal being crap doesn't help at all. Like, when the collective works really badly, then your mistakes are more prone to shown, rather than if the collective plays really well, then you're less prone to make mistakes because your individual performances are not going to be as noted. I think that you're going to have Socrates stand out. I think that for his age, I would like him to be a lot younger, but okay, William Saliba is coming in next season, and I think that Socrates has the experience to lead this backline for at least 1 or 2 more seasons. I think that you bring in Malang Sarr to play next to him. I think he's a player that wouldn't cost them more than 20 million to get him out of Nice, considering the fees that having banter out for Alan Maximan for 25 million. He's a forward. Jean-Michel Zari, who left for under 25 million as well to Fulham last season. I think Malang Sarr has slipped under the radar, and he's a really quality center back. He's French. He is left-footed. I think it would suit them really well. And maybe if they buy him, and they could develop a partnership of Sarr and Saliba for the next upcoming season. I think that you have the likes of a midfield too of Danny. Like, if you're gonna play the 4-2-3-1, you play with Dani Ceballos and Lucas Torreira in midfield. I would bench Granit Xhaka. I just think that Granit Xhaka is a great passer. I think he's one of the best ball progressors in the league, and definitely that's really good for Arsenal. But he's not mobile enough. He's a very, in my opinion, he's not a good tackler. He's not very mobile. He doesn't offer you much, like, going forward. Like, he has a good shot, I guess, but he's also a hothead. So I think Ceballos would give you, like, the ball progression. He would give you good ball progression. He would give you a bunch of dribbles per game. And Lucas Torreira will give you, like, that pitbull style of player where he's going to be running around for the ball and trying to recover the ball and give it to Ceballos so he can progress the ball and start attacks. You would have a Mesut Ozil playing centrally in the number 10 position. That is basically the only place where Ozil can play, and I think that you could see another kind of formation that I think is much more suited to play for Arsenal and Emery. It's just think that benching Ozil for another season, and if you don't reach top 4, Emery could get criticized. So Ozil will play some part next season. I think in a 4-2-3-1 it suits him the best, and I think that he's still a really good quality number 10, and he is one of the best passers in the world, in my opinion. Just as a passer, he's one of the best in the world. Has good creative numbers, and I think that if the collective manages to work well, then Ozil will stand out and could perform really well next season. In the wings, I think you'll have Aubameyang in the left with Pepe on the right. Pepe as the natural winger will give you depth, also will give you goals. Really great signing. 80 million, I think that's a lot of money, but he is a really good player. Really stood out last season, and the season before that he was also really good. Again, like I said, will give you goals, and especially will give you depth in the wings, which was really important for Arsenal. I think that was something they were really lacking. With a Kolasinac, especially with a Bellerin, they were really lacking strength in the wing positions. I think that Aubameyang will come off more centrally. He will still hurt you with that pace. He's a player that hasn't had too many bad injuries, and I think even though his age, he's one of the best finishers in the world, and he would score a lot of goals next season. Like I said, again, he's a perfect striker for Emery. Works hard. He's good, has good link of play. He's a good goal scorer. He's a better finisher than Aubameyang. Just that Aubameyang manages to get more chances for himself. But like I said, again, he's a really good finisher. Has strong. He can good hold up with the ball. Good link of play with the midfield, and would benefit Arsenal a lot next season. For the players that are going to be featuring for Arsenal in the bench, you're going to have the likes of, let's start with the centre backs, Rob Holding and Monreal. I think that Rob Holding will have, he looked really well last season until he got injured. It was unfortunate for Arsenal and for himself. I think that he's a centre back that is fine, that at least he's Premier League level, and for Arsenal that's exactly what they need. You have Monreal. He's going to be apparently one of the captains next season. Can cover left back, can cover at centre back. Will do a job for Arsenal next season and could give them some experience that he definitely has in that dressing room. Then you can have the likes of Maitland-Niles. He's a player that's going to play in the defensive midfield position, centre midfield. He's going to also play in the right wing back, left wing back. He's featured for Arsenal in many positions, and he's like the Sergio Roberto of Arsenal. He's a player that can give you a lot of things and can give you really good performance throughout the season. You have Granit Xhaka, who is a player that will give you different things. Will give you some goals during the season. He has a good shot on him. He's a good passer, and definitely for some of the games where you're going to be dominating and the other team is going to be sitting back, I think the Granit Xhaka really stands out in those kind of games. As long as there's not a game where he's going attacking one side, attacking the other side, I think that he really gets hurt by that. But if Arsenal can manage to have the most of the possession during the game, that's a part of the game where Xhaka really stands out. I think Wendosi should have an important part to play next season. I think that he's really young. He needs a lot more minutes, but it's been promising, and I think if he manages to improve defensively, he's a really talented player that could do really good things next season. Now, for the wingers and the forwards, we go for Iwobi, Zaha, and Reiss Nelson. I think that Reiss Nelson, he had decent minutes at Hoffenheim. Didn't play much at the end of the season, but was a pretty good player, and I think that he should contribute a lot for Arsenal next season. He has a lot of pace. He's from the academy, so he definitely wants to succeed at Arsenal. Same thing with Iwobi. He's a good creator. He was really good for Arsenal last season. He played very well in some of the important key moments of the season. He scored that goal against Chelsea. He was very important. He gave you some depth, much needed depth, and also when they play a 4-3-3 in centre midfield, he played pretty well and he was pretty impressive. It was really surprising to see Iwobi. I just think that if he can improve that decision making, he could really become something important for Arsenal in the coming seasons. And I think that the signing of Wilfried Zaha, if you can get him under 60-50 million, I think that you could get better for him, but it looks like he's a signing that could happen. So I'm gonna put him out there as he can play as as a second striker, so in the Aubameyang position, or he can play in the left wing, who is a position that best suits him. He completes a lot of dribbles per game, but also I don't think that Arsenal fans should be as excited for Zaha, or at least expect the output that Zaha was given at Crystal Palace. Because at Crystal Palace, he's the main man. Everything goes through him, so obviously he's going to create a lot of chances for himself, and all the chances are going to be created for him because he's the best player in the team. He's the leader of the team. On Arsenal, there's going to be multiple people sharing that responsibility, and I think that he's a great player. He would contribute to your team, but don't expect massive amount of output, especially in his first season. You have to give him time. Now, going into other systems that Emery could opt to play next season, you could still stick with the 4-2-3-1 in a game where you need better pressing and better just defensive contribution, especially when you're playing against the better teams. You should probably bench Ozil and put Ceballos in the number 10 position. Will still have really good creative numbers, so he's a really good passer, but it will give you a lot more in the pressing department. And in that open center mid spot, you could put the likes of Wendosi, you could put the likes of Xhaka. Will definitely contribute for you going defensive wise. It will be a much better team, and you could still hit them hard in the counter attack. If you're going in a 4-3-3, like I've said, you could play the likes of Torreira in that Pepe position with the likes of Ceballos and Xhaka in midfield, or even have Ozil and Ceballos, or Ceballos and Guendouzi, or Ceballos and Iwobi. I think Ceballos, he's a player that gives you a lot in midfield, gives you a lot of defensive output and good creative output. So he's a really important signing for us, especially for this season. And let's see how he blends next season. With the forward line, Aubameyang will still play off the left. I think he can give you a lot of width and a lot of depth and a lot of goals. Same with you, Lacazette, and Pepe will just give you more natural width and try to take players out of the equation, so Arsenal can be in a better goal scoring opportunities. So with all this said and done, I think that this is what Arsenal need to be attempting for next season, for the end of the transfer window, and we'll see. Depends on how Chelsea manages to do things with Frank Lampard and Manchester United do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think that also depends. Like, I wouldn't sleep on Leicester, Everton, Wolves, and West Ham if I was any of those three teams of Arsenal, United, and Chelsea, because especially Leicester and West Ham, I've seen improved a lot. I think they've brought really quality players and they have some really good, interesting managers. So if I was them, I wouldn't sleep, because I don't think there's much. You're closer. Like, those three teams are closer to being seventh than reaching the third position. So I would be really worried, or at least very aware, that those teams exist and that you need to have a good start and also a good season. You need to be concentrated in order to reach that goal of top 4 for next season. So with all said and done, leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Do you think that this is a good Arsenal team? What's your opinions on Nicolas Pepe as a signing? Leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Blaugrana's.